Welcome to another S&P 500 Trade Watch video. Today is July 5th, 2022. You are watching the live session here. We still have 50 minutes, approximately 50 minutes before the closing bell. So I thought I'd just sort of capture some of the chart before the market close, and then after the market close, I will go to the trade that I took today and kind of give you my thought process and how I use the volume profile and trade with the volume profile. So as you can see right here, I have the chart on a SPY. This is a 15-minute chart, and right now it's still coming up and it's trading at 380.44. And here is the market profile chart on the E-mini S&P 500, and also a couple of the candlestick chart here. I got a tick chart here, and this is a 30-minute chart. And so you can see I got some of the level. The ES is putting up a poor high here and coming up to this single print here that was left behind on July the 1st here. You can see that they also put in a single print and a poor low. So right now it seems like it is trying to come up here. If it filled the single print, then essentially it filled the gap. And it's very rare that we see a gap fill this late in this session here. But it's not that we never see it. It's just that we don't see it that often. So we'll see how this will play out. See, will it fill this single print and actually fill the gap as well. So after the close, I go to the trade itself, and I have snapshot of the chart. Then we could go to it and kind of give you my thought process, how I managed the trade and why I took the trade. Okay, the market has closed, and as you can see right now, the market profile left a poor high here today, and it did come up and fill the single print and also fill the gap. So that is one of those very rare instances in which the gap got filled late in the session. Remember when I was mentioned earlier that we're basically looking to see what come up and fill this single print, and if it fills the single print, then it will fill this gap. So right now it appears that we could see this poor high get resolved tomorrow and come up and fill the single print left behind on June 28th, and also a poor high that was left on June 29th. Now we also see there is a set of single print that is left behind today, and also a poor low. So these things will eventually also get resolved. But right now, depending on what the overnight action is, we likely will see some resolution here up here tomorrow. If not, probably within the next few days. And also notice here, the volume profile, we see that, remember there is a zone here that we're basically looking at, this high volume zone, and it came up to the upper edge here. We're going to take a look at it a little bit more closer in a couple moments. And here is the intraday chart of some of the the market internal. And I just want to show you this and kind of give you some idea why I took the trade that I took today, and which I went long on the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. If you notice here on the NASDAQ, this is the NASDAQ 100. And here is the S&P 500. You notice here, you see this right here, okay? This right here. And if we line this up, you see this, the NASDAQ actually closed the gap while the S&P 500 is still down here, far away from the gap and also way below the opening price. So that's a divergence between the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So what's so special about that? Well, not much, except when you notice the type of stock that is moving the NASDAQ, then it makes a difference. to the S&P 500. And we're going to take a look at those. And just a hint, those are the FANG stock, right? The large cap tech stocks such as Apple, Google, Amazon, those guys. Okay, those guys basically moving this right here. So eventually, it will also be moving the S&P 500 because they are also part of the S&P 500 and have a lot of weight factor into the index. And that's the reason why it's important to see that we are getting these positive divergence between the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500. And that's the reason why you have to look at multiple market to just kind of get some idea what are the contexts within the market for the day. In addition, you also notice that the up-down volume ratio was positive in the NASDAQ as well, while the S&P 500, the New York Stock Exchange, was negative. But again, you look at the advanced decline, it's also coming up. And you see the NASDAQ advanced decline actually turned positive, in the afternoon. Then the other thing is look at the ticks. Remember we talked about the positive 500 to 800 and the negative, positive 500 to 1,000 and the negative 500 to 1,000. And you notice that the tick is also kind of leaning for the upside on the NASDAQ, and not so much for the New York Stock Exchange early on, but then later on you can see, look at these positive ticks here between 500 and 1,000 versus minus 500 and 1,000. So you can see that the market is sort of leaning toward that long direction, right, the up direction. And that's the reason why I took the long instead of looking for a short. Okay. First of all, you don't want to short in a hole, when it opened down already, so much. You don't want to go and chase after that down gap open with such a, heavier short already, So basically, either you sit on the sideline and just not trade or look for opportunity to go long, in which case I saw some of these, divergences and also, signal that tell me that go ahead and take a stab at some of the long here and see what it get, do something on the upside. So that's the reason why I took the trade that I took. Now let's go and take a look at the trade itself. Let's do a little recap on the SPY. Remember last weekend, I put out a trade video on the S&P 500, and we particularly talked about the SPY. And one of the scenario was looking for the SPY to come down here, right to the lower edge of this high volume zone. Remember this high volume zone that we've been watching for a while now, saying that if it come down to this lower edge, you see, would it be able to hold it and bounce back up, or will it come down and move down? Then we'd be looking for SPY to come and trace this lower range here of the expected move. Then eventually we will be looking for the possibility of the price come down into this high volume zone here. So what we saw today on the SPY here is actually it got the bounce. Right? It came down. Let's see, you see it? It came down to this edge here. Came down, got a bounce. And also in addition to that, we basically are looking forward to not just any kind of bounce, but if you want to get a little bit of a confirmation, is you want to see it come back up to this value area, which is last week Friday's value area, to see would it be able to hold inside of that value area. And if it does, remember one of the trade setup strategy that I described in my volume profile trading strategy video, which I will have to link in the description below. So if you want to watch that, go ahead and watch that after you finish with this video, and then take a look at that strategy. So then we expect it to come back up, right, to retrace back up to the value area high. Okay, so that's basically what my trade on the SPY, the long trade on SPY, is based on. It's based on this particular trade setup here and the movement of the price move back up to the value area high. This is what I got in here, inside of this candle candlestick here. That's why I went long on the SPY. See, it actually went in to this value area, which is this is the Friday's value area for the SPY. And you can see here on this chart, you see this. This is the daily volume profile, and right now it is moving up for this point of control. And these are some of the parameters that I have set. Essentially, I put a stop below the today's low here underneath the 372.90. And on my plan with the 1R setting is somewhere around 377.53, and I essentially front run a couple tick, so it kind of give me an alert to scale out on the position here. And this is my target, my trading plan target of 378.57, where I will start trailing, since I'm gonna take a look at this particular value area high as my target, which is 379.74. So once I get up to this level here, then I'm gonna mentally tighten up my stop, because I'm already over 1R of profit, and I want to tighten up. I don't want to give it all back. So so that's basically what this chart depicts, is some of these levels that I have set up alert on for me to keep an eye on that. And as you can see, the SPY finally started to move here after a little while here. It came up and then pull back and then make another push. And here on this chart, as you can see, we this SPY hit this 1R target here, so I scaled out. This alert went off at 377.53. The remaining position, to see, will it get up to this level here now at 378.57? And once it get up to this level, then I'm going to start trailing it, try to see would it be able to hit this target, the value area high at 379.74. And here you can see on this chart here, it hit this 278.57 target. So it set off that alert for me to start trailing this stop here and watch for this target on the 379.74. And here on the market profile chart, you can see that it is at this time, it took out the pull high. So it doesn't have a pull high now, but it did leave the single prints here. So right now, basically, I'm looking to see would it be able to move up. But also, again, I was noticing the this candle here. This is the tick chart here, and it's starting to pull back a bit. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on it, and I might front run that level, my target level a little bit, and finally hit this this target here, this value area high. So I basically have exited out the position. So I close out the trade at this level here, even though that it ended up actually run higher than where I got out. So you can see that it came up, and right now it's essentially trying to come up and fill this gap here. Remember, that's why I said that if we are looking at this here, if it come up and fill the single print, then essentially this gap will get filled. And so you can see right now, after the closing bell, you see that the SPY actually came up to 381.95. So, and essentially came up to this high volume area. So basically, it sort of retraced this entire zone here. So that's one of the trade setup strategy using the volume profile, and also some of the things that I keep an eye on multiple market, cross market, to look for divergence and also look for clues. And also notice this here on the watch list. You see the FANG stock. The FANG index actually closed up 3% at 149.80. And look at Facebook, Meta, 5% gain, and Google, 4% gain, Amazon 3.6, Netflix 3.3, even Tesla, did a 2.5 percentage gain, and Nvidia 3%, Alibaba 3.5%, Baidu a little bit soft here. It's only 1.8%. Same thing with Apple, 1.9%. So you can see the FANG stock was really moving the Nasdaq and the indexes today, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to go long on the SPY. even though, look at the SPY, the S&P 500 only went up 0.16%, only up 6 points. But if you look at the NASDAQ 100, was up 1.68%. Even the Russell 2000 outperformed the S&P 500. But then you look at the Dow Jones Industrial, it was actually down 0.4%. And you see here are the stock that's down. But we saw the oil really came off. Right, here's the oil future here. It's down 8%, down almost $9, and dipped below $100 a barrel. Is closed at 99.55. And you see Chevron, right, it's down 2.6%. Almost over half of the Dow 30 stock is down. And then we got Merck up, and Nike was the strongest one on the Dow 30 today, up 3.1%, with Salesforce.com coming second with a gain of 2.38%. So you can see the weakness is inside a lot of these industrial and the value stock, and also the energy stock in the Dow. And the tech stock was actually the large cap tech stock is holding up the market today. So let me know in the comment section below, you like these kind of video or not? Do you find it informative or useful? And thank you for watching. Be sure to smash that thumbs up to help me promote this video on YouTube. Stay safe.